guys, it's your girl Rosii here with Iconix Radio, and today, this is going to be a good one. The amazing, multi-talented, diverse heap of wings. That's all I'm going to say is wings. Remember the wings. Robert Chris Jordan, Dallas-Fort Worth's very own, is here. How you feeling?
Good. I needed more coffee, but I'm good.
The fact that I asked you, what was the first thing that you did, and you was like, ran downstairs to get coffee. That is a go-to. I don't know what it is about artists and coffee. I'm really a tea girl, but I ain't gonna lie. This morning I did have a cup of coffee. I don't know why, but I did. And then the lady that was helping me at the desk, she was like, I have some Italian creamer. I was like, ooh, perfect time to try coffee. I've never had Italian creamer. Have you?
Oh yes. I do the sugar-free to try to save the calories, but I love anything that's got makes it a little bit creamier and a little bit sweeter, but not too much sugar. Then I'm good with.
I threw so much sugar in that coffee this morning. I was like, oh my God! But I'll be burning the calories off later. Robert Chris Jordan, man. I'm just excited that you're here. I love talking to a good Southern boy every now and then because it never gets boring. Texas, as usual, we're known for making so many trends and then always being diverse with the culture here, right? But for you, I think you expand that a little bit more than others. Every time I see Robert Chris Jordan, he has on something sparkly. He has on something shiny. That's what an artist really is all about, is who's standing out in the crowd. Man, you're the one.
Yeah.
I'm the one. Let's talk about first, you as an artist. Anything and everything pop.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pop rock.
Yeah, pop rock.
Pop.
Dance.
Pop.
Well, I call it cinematic pop. So anything that would, in my mind, create a movie of something going on, that picture, that's the kind of stuff I write, because I always see the vision of a movie playing in my head when I'm writing a song, and so it's that same type of feel. And I grew up, obviously, watching musical theater, and I would watch the conductor and the orchestra more than I was watching what was going on the stage, but and the movies too, and the emotions that kind of stir up inside when you hear the songs for, say, Halloween. It's almost October.
Mm-hmm.
So Halloween for that iconic theme there, the kind of stuff that stirs. And that's the kind of stuff I like to write, because I like to stir those emotions.
Speaking of October, shout out to all the Libras out there, y'all. We know. Listen, it's just something about when we start to get a little bit of air, a little bit of wind coming through. We know it's close to Libra season, so I just want to put it out there. Speaking of balancing some scales around here, you balance a lot. You're family-friendly conscious with your music and how you write and what you present to your audiences, and I think that's very important. A lot of things I like to highlight. Also, with you being a mental health awareness advocate, that is huge. Mental health is real these days, and people say, well, since the pandemic, no, baby, this has been going on a long time. A long time. It just kind of helped, highlight.
Yeah, I think it kind of pulled the curtain back on how much of a problem mental health was.
Yeah.
And the way that this current state of our healthcare system and how hard it is to navigate. I think it just kind of made it a little bit more visible, because people were now having to resort to social media and video
to
and
express,
stuff like that. Right. So
and oh my gosh,
the veils came off. Yeah,
they did, and they are still ringing, baby, very loudly. But for you, speaking of in the healthcare, you also take out time to give to people to make them feel better. You're also in the healthcare industry as well.
Right. And I enjoy helping people. It's just part of my personality. So anything that I can do to help touch others or help others has always been something special to me, or something I've been drawn to. And so not only in healthcare but in music, that's what, if anything, I can touch someone or be somebody that can be a voice for somebody else, or have them they feel that they're seen.
Yes.
That's even more
I love that. My niece recently said, "Mommy, I'm going to be like a dancing doctor," and I was like, "Okay, this is getting good." So I think that that starts at a very young age, being able to want to care for people and wanting to help and heal people. So let's start off with your upbringing. What was it like for you growing up?
I grew up an only child. I'm adopted, which is probably why I ended up going towards adoption as well.
Wow.
But it was great. So my parents always gave me every opportunity that I could even imagine. I can't imagine if I'd had siblings, if I'd had all those opportunities. So I'm kind of thankful for that. But kind of a small rural town, so I got to see that part. But they would also take me to see Broadway musicals in Fort Worth and get to expose me to just various opportunities. At 15 years old, little sidetrack here, I was on national TV as a professional wrestling manager. But what kid had put
What?
I know.
That was a quick jump. Wait a minute. What?
So, but
wow.
Just lots of opportunity.
I love that.
Lots of opportunity. So I feel like that really helped shape me as this more of a rounded person, seeing different aspects of life and not just being all inside a box, which makes the creative mind just go nuts and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah. So it was a good time, and I finished my high school career in a private Christian school. Mm-hmm. I was probably a little bit more outside the box than they liked, but
right.
But yeah, it was a great experience, and so I knew that I was loved and supported no matter what I did.
That's awesome.
Started in music. Thought I was going to be a music educator at one point, and I thought I'll never be able to survive on this. And then
right.
healthcare started calling my name, and so I went into healthcare, and now I do both. So
wow.
It's just it's great.
Funny thing how things just like come together.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of life. You know, it's like you start off thinking it's one thing, you end up doing something else, but you're passionate or you find purpose in both. Then you look up and then they come together.
Right.
So not only do you have a history of being chosen family, right? And also choosing family as well.
Right.
I think that, that's what life is about. It's putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, creating this beautiful story, going through the pleasures and the pains, and then making music about it. Man. Or finding or listening to music about it. Yes. When did you see yourself as an artist?
I would say probably about 2020 when I first released my first.
2020?
I know, right? So because I grew up and I was very obese growing up, so I had that in my head, and then that developed a body dysmorphia. So no matter what stage I'm in, I'm always like, well, I'm seeing that fat kid that I grew up as. So I try to channel a lot of those feelings through my music as well.
Wow.
But just it's very interesting because I got to the point, and I'm sure that you can identify. I never like to listen to myself sing. I never like to see myself on video. And, if I came on, I'd be like,
stay out of my journal. Stay away from my journal. Because you just...
So I think that at the 2020, I was starting to listen to my own stuff and not be so critical as much as like, oh, I could fix this or I could do that, and then start to see myself grow as a person and as an artist, so that I'm more comfortable in my own skin. That I'll never be truly there. I mean, body dysmorphia is a real thing. It stays there with you. The little mind is a constant saboteur.
Chris, let me tell you something. Listen, I hear you, my friend, but you bedazzle and you dress yourself up very well by the fact that you're even speaking on this. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it says a lot about you, and I didn't mean to cut you off. No. But I just think, when you said it will never, child, it is here, honey. You are delivering on every aspect of gold.
And the crystals also have a symbolic meaning for me too, because not only do I like to have like the glamour and stuff like that, and add that to it, but for me it's symbolic in that in a world of darkness, in someone who's depressed and sick, sometimes all it takes is this one tiny beam of light from someone else to hit that proverbial crystal and then kind of make that brilliant for the rest of the people. And that's what it is. So when you're on a dark stage and the light hits, there's nobody that can't see. In the very back of the room can see that smile or that brilliance of the crystal.
Them diamonds dancing,
so,
baby. It's
yeah,
called dancing diamonds.
It just it dazzles, and it makes you can't help but smile or feel a different, feeling of warmth during that. And so that's what that's all about. So no matter how much darkness there is around you, if you get that one smile, one beam of light from somebody, it could change the entire aspect of what they're seeing.
Oh my God, that is so powerful, because it's changing the world with even like just without saying a word, saying anything. It's just like before a person can even say, "What's your name?" They're like, "Man, hey, listen."
Yeah.
It's like, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because I think that, again, so guys, even when you're wearing all black, throw a diamond on it too. You just never know. Get a diamond cup. Put some sparkles on your shoes. Like, kick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sparkle.
Yeah.
Sparkle. I love it. You were gonna say?
No. I was just saying that even if it's in a smile, I mean that can change a thing. I have a little note on the back of my car too that says to the person behind me, "You are loved," because you never know who's having that kind of day. They may be riding their tail on the road, but if they see that sign on the back of your car, it makes them kind of diffuses some of that and makes it really think. So, because I think that's what it is about with mental health and stuff. It's just knowing that you're seen, you're heard, and you're not alone. Even though we make that inner saboteur kind of makes us feel like we're alone and we're the only one going through what we're going through.
Wow.
It's not the reality, which is why I do that in music too. To kind of root for the underdog in a lot of my cinematic stuff, and that's where the phoenix came from, and that symbol or my emblem for the phoenix is about rising out of the ashes and becoming what you were meant to be, versus what your brain says that this is all you'll ever be.
Wow. This is some heavy stuff, but it's so much. It's so fun and it's so welcoming, and it just speaks to why you are a conscious artist, a conscious entertainer, and all about family.
Yeah.
Speaking of your family, and how they play a very intricate part in how you write and how you deliver music and create music as well. Let's talk about your babies.
Okay. So I decided a few years ago, 7 years ago.
When you got kids, you lose count.
I know. I was like, how many? Oh my gosh, it's been that long. As a single dad, to decide to adopt what ended up being 4 boys. I've had as much as 6 in my house at one time, but at the end of the day, I ended up with 4. All from the foster care system, and the boys versus girls, that was just how it worked out. It's not that's what was planned. I fostered 2 girls, and then they went back to family members.
Right.
But I ended up adopting a boy that was 14 years old, and then they wanted to do this update on Wednesday's Child, which I don't know if you're familiar with Wednesday's Child.
Do tell.
A lot of the news stations like to do this on foster kids. And,
okay.
So on a Wednesday, they do a broadcast on a special kid that's had trouble finding family or has had a rough time in foster care. Usually they've been in foster care for several years by that point. They wanted to do an update because he was being adopted.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I might overthink. Baby was born on a night that I was working at the hospital, and it was the same hospital I was working at, but I was on a different end of the hospital, so I had no knowledge or anything of him. But he came to our home, and now he just turned 6. So I have 4 boys, and a handful is an understatement, for sure.
Oh my God, talk about a walking angel that happens to wear diamonds. And then you throw on your wings, thank you, and you make music. So, I mean, I think you symbolize everything humanity should stand for, and that it does stand for. Speaking of the Phoenix is rising, let's talk about that, because I think that just kind of brings everything together.
So that started actually we were talking about this last night, that I did a cover song for, there were two writers, and I believe they were here from the U.S., but they wrote for Eurovision and for Austria, and for their part of the competition. If you weren't aware, it's kind of like a big America's Got Talent of Europe, is what I think of it as.
Mm-hmm.
So the songwriters write the songs, and they have an artist that performs it, and then, you know, all of Europe or whatever vote for who the winner is. And so there was a song called Rise Like a Phoenix. And I liked that song because it was very dramatic, it was very cinematic, and the more that I thought about that song, the more I thought, you know, this is really kind of similar to these boys they're growing up, and you can always tell them whether they choose to believe it or not yet, because two of them are teenagers, and you know how that might go.
Mm-hmm.
But you can either choose to live as a victim all of your life, or you can choose to rise above it despite what you grew up as. And so that really started the wheels turning in my head, and kind of seeing that overcoming the adversity, and that the symbol of the phoenix. And so then the next big song that I wrote was Phoenix Rising, which is about rising up out of those ashes and defeating all whatever that adversity may be, whether it's a person or whether it's a situation or whatever. And so that has really become a driving force in all I do. And so I have a whole, I call it the Phoenix Rising Saga, different songs that I write that kind of fit in that genre. And then when I do the music videos, then I do add, video effects and stuff into that, try to make it very Marvel-esque, as far as fight scenes and all sorts of things like that, to be that superhero. But really, we all have that superhero within us. It's just a matter of letting that come out and rising above all of the things that we've been through before. And I think that even if we didn't go through foster care, because I didn't, I grew up very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
But even if that's not what there's always something that we go through, or something that we need that inspiration to rise above that, whatever that may be, whether it's mental health or maybe a financial situation or whatever. How do we overcome that and succeed despite that? And I think that's what it is, just keeping that positivity in the forefront.
I love it. This is very good, very informative, because when you start talking about kids, and you're talking about music, and you're talking about being a leader, all of these things play a very high impact part on community. Yes. If these things are not active and they're not happening in a positive direction, we're losing.
Yes.
We're losing. So, but with you, we have a winner. Now, with your team, because I know that it's all about, we can't do this thing called life alone, right, obviously, and especially when it comes to talking about business and being an artist. We can't do this by ourselves. When you think about being an artist, and then the team that you have to have behind you, oh my gosh, please. Who's on your team? Right. Who's pushing you and keeping you together without coffee?
Well, I went to, well, let me say my mentor, my vocal mentor is Linda Septian. And Linda Septian is, if you don't know the name, you will know some of her artists that she developed early on. And that was Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez.
Wow.
She had a hand in Beyonce. So when I was thinking, well, I need to tune up my voice, and when you want to tune up your body, go to the gyms. I was like, I need a vocal gym.
Right.
And so that kind of started, who was her, who were the people that did Jessica Simpson? And because I knew for sure that was her artist. And I
talk about research.
Look at, like, where is she at? She's here in Dallas somewhere. And I found her. And that kind of put me on the path of finding the right people and making the connections I need to vocally.
Right.
And that's how I met my co-producer, Remington, who got me. He's also a single dad, but through a relationship that didn't work.
For sure.
Either way,
right.
Hardworking single dad that's always doing that. So I think that's how we first connected, as far as mentally on the song.
Single dads meet up. I love that.
I can't tell you how many times it's helped me out so much when I come out and say, listen, I have these 3 notes, and this is what I see. And then him helping me create that and make that a reality. And he goes, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. That's for you to help me with it. This is as far as I've gotten. Or you get that writer's block and you're not sure, what do I do this? I know that there's a song that I've been working on for 2 years now because I have a mental block and my mind is just not ready to go there yet. Mm-hmm. But he helps bring that out. So now the song, the entire melody is written. And so now it's just sitting down and trying to do the recording for that. So that's important to have somebody like that on your team that can bring that out in you and then also keep you focused on the direction that you're going.
Beautiful.
And then they set me up with a man named Barry Coughing, who is out of Houston as well and does a lot of movie placements and TV placements and things like that.
By the way, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You just landed a sync deal.
Yes, I did.
And it had a number sign at the beginning, like in the front of it.
Yes.
So talk about making moves.
Yes, that was a pleasant surprise on my way as I was getting ready to fly down here. I was just opening emails and going through emails to see what I'd missed and anything important that I need to return a call, and there it was. And so it was very exciting. It's going to be on a commercial, I believe. And it's a covers of Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's actually going to be in the UK.
Classic.
I know, and the UK of all places. I mean, that's where Freddie Mercury's from, and so I feel just honored. For me, it's just about exposure and getting my music out there and getting the messages out there. So the place that we're able to get that synced, I met through my booking agent now, who his name is Skip Reeves. And
the one and only Skip Reeves.
Yes, and he does
awesome.
His own talk show, The Funk Above the Rest.
Yes.
And he came to Springboard when I met Barry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd gone to the Springboard Houston, which is a small conference for musicians and artists to learn how to navigate the industry and things that you never knew you need to know. And
yes,
things.
Lord.
So I was just there to just kind of like a sponge, just let it in. And I met Skip, who, when you meet him, you don't realize that he's as tall as he is, but when he stands up and unfolds,
literally,
like, wow.
You go from here to, okay, how you doing, sir?
I don't look up to a lot of people.
Right, but he's one of them.
There's no way, unless you stand way back.
Right, so true.
But he, I wanted to have him listen to my music, and because he does radio and anything he would suggest, anything I can improve on. And he liked the sound so much and the direction that I was going that he said, I don't do this very often, and I've done it one time before, and it's just not my thing as far as some of the interactions you get, but I believe in you, and I want to support you. And so that's how he became my booking agent of all people. And then through him, I met my PR guy, John, in Houston, who has been, so it's just like everything fits like a puzzle. Things that are meant to be happen, and they connect very easily.
You do the work.
That's right.
And the work will work for you.
That's right. And it's all about meeting people, and you meet those connections that they know, and it's expanding that network. So that's the most important thing. I wouldn't schmooze just to, fill people's sand bucket with whatever I can find. Mm-hmm. But when you meet the genuine people, then those are the ones that add the substance to it and kind of believe in you and kind of help hype that up. And so it's been an amazing ride this last year for sure. So I'm just ready for it to keep going. So
that's right. So keep going up now.
Hopefully it's all up from here, right? So chip away at the iceberg. And
I love it. I can truly say that also I look forward to working with you and collaborating with you very soon as well. Speaking of venturing out now into EDM. And how you're building a production show. Not just a show, y'all. He ain't just going to be up there singing with some wings on. No. You're actually bringing your Broadway experience, your Broadway intellect, and some cool stuff is about to happen here soon.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into, number one, wings. How did you decide, you know what, I'm just going to put on some big wings, and we just going to go for it, and I'm going to sing. How did that happen?
We had a Halloween showcase, if you will.
Come on, that's how you started off.
So just artists, various artists, I don't remember how many others were. There had to be 15, 20 artists, but we were only doing one song, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go have fun with it. I This was early on when I was still I would still get nervous when I would get on the stage and sit and be shaking. So I said, I'm just going to have fun. We'll do what we do. There was a contest. I didn't even know there was a contest about. But I thought, you know what? I've got this black robe that my mom had made me years ago, and I do use that in shows. I've since added some Swarovski crystals and stuff to it, of course, because why not? But added that robe, and it was hooded, and I said, oh, I want to get these. I think they call them Isis wings.
Okay.
So it's like a cloth wing, but they had lights on them, and they lit up like orange, yellow, and red, and I thought, okay. So I hid them under this robe, and then I get to this dramatic part of Rise Like a Phoenix, and I throw the robe off, and suddenly go up with the Isis wings. I didn't think it was a big deal. I just thought it was fun and different, right? And the crowd went nuts over these cloth wings that were just under my robe that had lights on them. I didn't have any idea. So that kind of, well, if I did that for this, when I started writing Phoenix Rising, I started looking for the mechanical wings and the ones that full expand. So that's
kick it up a notch.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
So I found a lady in the UK that designs and builds and stuff.
Stop.
I know.
That just came around full circle.
Yes. So she's.
See what I'm saying?
She does cosplay,
Wow.
and they do that. And I've seen a video of hers where she had wings. And I said, have you ever done Phoenix wings? And so, ironically, her company's called the Feathered Phoenix.
I was about to say, tag her baby.
I know. It's called the Feathered.
If you're looking for some wings,
called
in life, that's what you call it.
It's called the Feathered Phoenix. But she'd never done Phoenix wings. She said, but I would love to, because she loves the Phoenix too, like the symbolism behind the Phoenix and things. So, once again, that full circle moment. And
wow.
So I contacted her initially because I knew she did the cosplay and she had Phoenix in her name. So I was like, surely she does.
This
Phoenix
is perfect.
wings. I was the first pair of Phoenix wings she ever did. So she
Isn't
designed
it funny how life works?
It is absolutely. If you were to read in a book, you wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it?
You wouldn't believe it.
Wow.
But that's how those wings came about. She was able to develop those, and the first time I used those on stage too.
How big are the wings? Let's give it accurate, so y'all don't think it's just like walking outside. It's not walking outside.
When they're on, they're probably about 5 feet wide.
Okay.
From side to side.
Okay.
But when I fully expand them during a show, they get to about a 10-foot wingspan, and then they're about 10 feet high. And then
my God.
A lot of poundage is added on to that too, so it adds about 60 pounds of weight that I have to carry as I'm singing. Yeah.
Now, with that, you said while you're singing.
While I'm singing, so it's an extra 60 pounds or so to be wearing on stage.
So your diaphragm is working.
That's right.
You're trying to make sure the microphone is placed right.
Right.
And you're carrying 60 pounds of wings.
Right. And then add to that the rest of the costume that I wear for that.
Plus
adds
makeup
over
and
10,000 crystals on that costume. So it's quite heavy.
All right.
So gotta work out and do some
I was about to say,
crunches.
I know your workout routine is crazy. Wow, but this is what it takes as an independent artist. This is what it should take for an artist, period. Go over and beyond for your audience.
Right.
Like, think outside the box.
Well, and do your passion. Whatever you're passionate about, it stops being work when it's a passion. You still have to put in the work, but it stops being monotonous and something that's just really more of a chore than it is for fun. And then to see the audience reaction is even better. That means I'm connecting with them and they're understanding the story. And if not, they're just enjoying the visual concept. So I try to touch on familiar themes or songs, and then when it gets to my originals, which they may not know at that point, something that's going to dazzle them or make them really engage in that song and not just check out. And I think that's what it is. You're telling a story on stage, no matter what you're singing.
That's right.
So, but you got to tell the whole story. So with yourself, with your music, and then with your voice, obviously.
What are some of the songs that you would like to highlight from your album?
Well, so we have a new one coming out. That one drops on October the 11th, and that one is an EDM version of a rock blues song that I sang on my first album. It's called Here We Go Again.
Okay.
It's about a toxic relationship that we've all had. Male, female, it doesn't really matter. Boss, employee. I mean,
right.
I say I do anesthesia, and I say anesthesiologist and anesthetist. I mean, you've got those people that want to be in control, and you are everything less than perfect, and they are everything more than perfect.
Right.
In fact, God created the world, and had they created them first, He would have been done. That type of person.
Oh, I like that. I'm using that for sure.
So when I said, I actually came and saw you perform, and we were talking, John and Skip, and about EDM and where it's going, and I said, I remember in my college years going out to the club and just letting that be a release and feeling the music.
Yes,
Lord. It's more about dancing and people watching for me because I don't drink. So I was watching everybody else drink and kind of make fools of themselves. So that was fun for me. It was just like a TV right there just watching everybody else. But I wanted to write music, too, that people could just let the stress go. And I felt that was a song that could talk to people because everybody knows one of those people. Yeah. Somewhere in your life you have that person that doesn't want you to be happy.
That's
no
true.
matter what it is, wants to tear you down. And so we made that one. And so it's Here We Go Again. And it's almost like a completely different song. You wouldn't even probably put that it's the same exact song together because it's that much of a gap between a slower rock blues song and now the EDM dance. But I can't tell you, I danced to it myself and I sang it. So anyway, so that's one of them.
Okay, Here We Go Again.
And then I just came out with my remastered album of Firestarter.
Okay.
And that one has, I believe, 7 songs on that one.
Okay.
I have 2 covers on that song that are special covers.
Okay.
One is Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something.
Yes.
Now, I say it's special to me because the lead singer of Deep Blue Something was my English teacher in high school.
Come on now. Listen,
I know.
stop.
I know. And that's when I was in professional wrestling, so he would rip me all the time about doing the professional wrestling and stuff.
I cannot.
And so when I was coming out with this one, I was like, I kind of want to cover that because it's been, so many years since I had him as an English teacher. I kind of want to cover that song, and so I asked him if he was okay with that, and so he said yes. So I did a version.
You got permission from your former teacher, to cover a song from a legend.
Yes.
Oh, child. I'm just trying to be involved in your world. Wherever it goes, I just want to be involved because wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's another cover on there called Dear Claudia. That one is from a band called South FM.
Okay.
And that was also probably around the same time. And he actually is somebody that I have co-written with on a song on Here We Go Again.
Talk about getting clearance.
That was a collab that he and I did, and he had written a song before that kind of inspired the melody, and that one kind of inspired this one.
Okay.
Not the EDM version, but the original version.
For sure.
And so those are the 2 covers. I wasn't going to put a cover on an original album, but I thought those 2 I need to because that's still part of that story. They kind of shape those foundations. And then, of course, Firestarter on that album is how I got its namesake. It was originally going to be called by a song that I sing on it called Laying in the Ashes, which is, again, more of that rising out of the ashes type thing is when you're down, you're wondering, what am I going to do from here? And then you have to kick it up another notch and have your Tina Turner moment, if you will.
Come on now. You better say that part.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you want to dance and get that negative feeling out of you.
Yes.
But Firestarter is about that person that's always, well, we can't say what they do, but the one that stirs the pot. That's the nice way to say it.
There you go.
That way, every time I say Firestarter in that song, that's what that's talking about. That person that's always trying to spread the rumors or tear you down in one way or another.
There's always one.
Always one. At least always one.
That's right.
That doesn't feel their happiness unless they're making someone else miserable, that type of thing.
Yes,
and then that song's important because it has a line in it that I think is the most important of the whole thing. It's taking back the power I gave. So it's taking back that power that you give that person to treat you that way, to make you feel that way. Once you take that power back, they have 0 power over you.
That's right.
And then they can be extinguished. So you move on beyond that.
It's like we all sitting in therapy right now, and this is a good therapy session. When you have been through some of the challenges that you've faced,
Yeah.
but then you also had family
Yes.
that chose you.
Yes.
You chose them, and your story just continued to build. Like, you have to have some positivity come out of that, and not a lot of people take advantage of the grace that they've been giving, right? And for you to continue to keep it going, and then also be a person of giving back and paying it forward, and just continuing just to deliver love, peace, smiles through diamonds, wings, through the kids, through the healthcare, being a mental health advocate, being family conscious of your music delivery. I could keep going on and on about you, but here we go.
Again,
Here we go again. Give me some. Boom. Hello, Texas. Stand up. Let's go. In the next 5 years, where do you see yourself?
I've got some lofty goals. I would like to see some of my music in mainstream cinema. So the Marvels, the big cinematic things that I grew up watching. I mean, I used to watch Linda Carter as Wonder Woman on TV, but you notice that when they turn into that superhero, that gets you excited, and I would love to see some of that cinematic stuff go up to that level. And I think that we're starting to chip away now that we got the first sync on.
You're knocking at the door.
Because the more that you can get in that level,
yes,
I think the more people you can reach that really need to hear that message.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's one of them.
Okay. Marvel, more cinematic placements.
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to be performing at places like the Ryland in Nashville.
Okay.
I would like to see that much sooner than 5 years, but we'll see. We'll see where the journey takes us, because sometimes.
Well, you've done a lot in a year, friend.
That's
I just want to say,
true. The right
2020, you kicked it off, and now you here. You got placements, and the baby's getting on the songs with you. You got, woo, yes.
And then I think ultimately it's being able to do more of those shows that are reaching out and benefiting some of those things like mental health awareness and foster. Because I don't think that even when I first thought about fostering, it was because I tried to do private adoption of the baby initially, because I knew I wanted kids. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. Right. I had no partner, but I was kind of at the point in my life where, like, if I wait on that might not ever happen, because then I'm not going to feel like I'm going to have the time, the energy, or anything else to do it. And let me tell you, 4 boys, you need some energy.
You need some.
Hence the coffee.
This is where the coffee kicks in. Listen.
Coffee kicks in.
I love it.
By the way, Starbucks.
Yes.
So
I love it.
You've got to have that energy. So I thought after 2 of those, where one mom wanted to use the system, and multiple families that were helping support her through her pregnancy, but only one was going to get the baby, but she was kind of doing it on the down low, so no one knew about the other. But some of the
underlying things that people do. Yeah.
And then the second one, the mom disappeared a week before the baby was due, so she just kind of took flight and went. So I had this nursery all ready for this baby that was to be born, and didn't come in there. So I was like, something's going on. How can I turn this into a positive? How can I still get my dream of having kids, but make it be meaningful? And then that's when I thought, I have an aunt that adopted 2 foster boys, because she's a teacher, and they were in her school, and they were in foster care systems. So she ended up forming a bond at school, and the next thing you know, here they are, and she adopted them. I thought maybe I should look into foster care, and that's how that all came about. Yeah.
Wow.
So and then through the music, I want to tell their stories and their experiences, but also in a way that it speaks to others that may be experiencing similar, or something they can apply to their own life.
Wow.
So yeah.
Golly, this is some good stuff, guys. But we have to let the fingers go here shortly. Not too far, because we got to get ready to play a game. Okay. Right. So this is going to be very good. Guys, stay tuned. It is your girl, Rosii, here with Iconix Radio and the amazing
Robert Cristian Jordan.
Listen. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Game time in a minute. See you in a bit. Bye. Oh, man. Let me know when you are ready, DJ Brandice. What's going on, guys? You know what time it is? Fear. Fear. Don't look at fear. Face it. Face it. You ready?
Okay.
Guys, Robert Christian Jordan is here. We're about to play a game. Now, you know how we do. I won't leave you hanging by yourself. You have a few friends in the place. You have DJ Brandice back there, and you have the one and only the man is here, guys. Now listen. The only thing that means is he got good help. So there's no way that you are not going to win.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I know.
Let's make sure the check is written out. So.
Look, no pressure.
Okay. None at all. None at all.
Okay, Robert Christian Jordan, here we go.
All right.
The very first question is, which hit TV show from the 90s was produced by the one and only David Hasselhoff? Was it A, Friends, B, Full House, or C, Baywatch?
Baywatch.
You didn't want to ask none of you?
No.
No, you got this one?
I know that one.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Guys, that is correct. Yes. I know. I used to watch this show every night, like 8, 9 o'clock. Like, Mom, give me a second. I watch this. Now, in the sitcom Family Matters, where did the Winslows live?
Chicago,
Was it?
Illinois.
Listen, I just think me and you just got something about the 90s shows. I'm like, I know you know this. Really? Final answer?
Final answer.
I ain't even given the options, but that's correct. Okay. Not too many people know this one.
Okay.
What company released the first athletic shoe with a built-in air pump? Was it A, Adidas, B, Nike, or C, Reebok?
I made the one that I'm wanting to go to. May not be the right answer.
Okay.
But
Take a chance. You want to ask friends?
I'll say I grew up wearing Reeboks.
Okay.
But I also know that Nike had the stuff leading up to the Air Jordans.
True.
So, I don't know. John, what do you think?
Adidas?
Yeah, I'm with it.
I was probably going to say Reebok or Nike. I'm on the same page then, but we need someone to one of those.
Lock it.
I'm gonna say Nike and hope that I don't regret it.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect.
Was it Reebok?
It is Reebok.
I knew it. I should have gone my instinct.
That's
okay.
okay.
Probably Reebok because I was going to say Nike because everything's air.
It's okay. You got this.
Okay. All right.
Which 1997 film stars Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich? Is it A, Snake Eyes, B, Con Air, or C, Rounders?
I was going to say that too. I think Con Air B.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct.
Oh.
All right, guys, last one, and let me tell you, you're doing this thing.
Okay.
You're
All
doing
right.
this.
All
You're
right.
winning. Here we go. What was the worldwide best-selling single of 1998? Was it A, Cher, Believe, B, Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Good Thing. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Sorry, Aerosmith, love you. Or C, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. Again, was it A, Cher, Believe, B, Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, or C, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On?
Wow. So this one's a harder one for me because the Believe, we know that Cher every decade has gone to number one.
Period.
we know what Titanic did for Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On."
To this very day.
And we know what the movie did for the Aerosmith song too. So that one's a hard one because all of these have some sort of thing. I'm going to say though, because I know that she went to number one, it's going to be Cher's "Believe."
Okay. Is that? Do you want to check with the team, or you
check with the team? I think it's the last one.
I think it's Celine.
That was mine. I think it's Celine.
I wasn't sure if it was
I think it's
BFC.
1998.
Okay, then I'm going to change my answer to "My Heart Will Go On," Celine Dion, just because of Titanic.
Final answer?
That's the final answer.
That's correct.
Oh,
there we go. Talk about teamwork makes the dream work. Hello. Oh my gosh, that has been it's been such an amazing time hanging out with you today. I mean, this was so much fun. We've learned so much, and not only that, we're grateful. The world is grateful for you for being such an amazing artist and not stopping when life was like, pause. You was like, please, I got more stuff to do. Thank you.
I need a nap now, but yeah. I'm good.
Well, don't stay too long, okay? Because we still got more shows to do.
All right.
And more music to make. Is there anything that you would like the listeners to know before we get ready to get up out of here?
My social media handles.
Please.
As always, at The Real RC Jordan. So any social media that's at my YouTube channel with all the music videos that I produce. And Spotify is at The Real RC Jordan. That's the most important one you can get anywhere after that.
That's right. Now, also, you will be taking over Iconix Radio for an entire year right here, and it's going to keep being amazing because you create music for all seasons.
Yes.
So, guys, stay tuned. Robert Cristian Jordan is right here in Iconix Radio, and it has been such a pleasure. To the listeners out there, is there anything that you would like for them, anything positive you want to leave with the listeners?
Just keep going forward. No matter what hill that you're having to climb, there is always another side to that. And once you get to the top of that mountain, you will be able to breathe again and get there. So just stick with it. And if you don't have anyone else to call me.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
It's been such a pleasure. Up top.
You.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we will see you soon, guys. It's your girl Rosii here with Iconix Radio and the amazing, multi-talented, the one to see with the wings, Robert Cristian Jordan. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you soon.